All right, so this is the second half of lesson 3 in module 6. And we're going to continue working on these angle questions. And I want to remind you that when you're doing these, they can be done in more than one way. So if you find the angle, the missing angle, in a different way than I'm about to do it, that's okay, as long as you are showing all of your work, showing all of your equations, and arriving at the same answer. All right, so exercise 2. Here are 3 lines that intersect at a point. We know that this angle right here, I'm going to highlight that. Notice that that is 144, but that's the whole angle here. It wants us to find the value of C. Now, let's fill in some missing information. That's not really missing, but we know that that box tells us that it's 90 degrees, and sometimes we just like to see the actual number. So let's fill in 90. Now, we need to figure out what relationship we have here that's going to give us that angle C. Now, we have nothing that's on the line because we don't know these two angles. So we can't use angles on a line or angles on a point because we don't even know the values of those two angles. But I'm going to draw this for you. And if you have colored pencils that you would like to do the same, I think that would be very helpful to see. I'm going to draw an X with the green marker. And I'm going to point out that when you have an X, angles that are across from each other are equal. So right here we have this angle is across from this angle. So those are called vertical angles and they are equal. So if you have 2 angles and you want to find the whole thing, you just simply add. So I'm going to write that C plus 90 and 144 are vertical angles. Which means they are equal. So C plus 90 is going to equal 144. These two angles are going to equal this angle. So solve the equation, subtract 90 from both sides. So C is equal to 54 degrees. And that's all it was asking for, so we are done with that equation. All right, example 3. Once again, we have a right angle here, so I'm going to label that with 90. Now, we don't know these angles, so we can't use angles on a line or angles on a point, but I see that this forms an X. And angles that are across from each other are equal to each other. Now, on this side, there's 2 angles, so it would be 26 plus 90. And on the other side, it's T. They are vertical angles. Which means they are equal. So our equation would be T equals 26 plus 90. (26 plus 90 is 116. Now it doesn't ask us for any other angle, so that is our answer. All right, moving on to exercise 3. This question, it's telling us that 2 lines intersect at a point. There's another ray. We can see that that's 90-degree angle, so I'm going to fill that in. Now notice V, I'm going to highlight it for you, has the arc that goes from this ray to this ray. When you have 2 angles next to each other and you want the whole thing, you need to add those 2 up. The problem is we don't know this angle right now. We do know that this angle is 46. I'm going to take my orange highlighter and I'm going to create an X because that shows me that angles across from each other are equal. So this angle is across from this angle, so 46 will equal 46. Now I have both parts to the angle, so V is going to equal 90 plus 46. These two angles will add up to be the whole green angle. So when I do that, I get 136 degrees. All right, example 4. Let's use the idea again of vertical angles. So angles that are across from each other. So this little sliver would then be 8. Here's a box that's 90 degrees. This is across from each other. If you want to label it X, you don't have to because there's other relationships that you could use. If you wanted to label, this would be 90 as well. All right, so if I take this line right here, I see that these three angles here, X, 8, and 90, form the blue line. So X, 8, and 90 are angles on a line, which means they add up to 180. All right, so let's write our equation. X plus 8 plus 90 is equal to 180. So 8 plus 90 is 98. To solve, we're going to subtract 98 from both sides. So X is equal to 81 degrees. All right, next page. I'd like you to attempt this one on your own. So if you would pause the video, find your value of X and find all of your missing measurements. And then when you're done, hit play so that make sure that you have the correct answer. All right, I see a right angle, so I'm going to fill that in as 90. I don't know these two, so I can't do anything else with that. But I can see that I can form an X, and angles that are across from each other are equal to each other. So this angle will be equal to this angle. So I'm going to write 90 plus 25. And 2x plus 3x are vertical angles. Which means they are equal. So 2x plus 3x is on the bottom half. That's equal to 90 plus 25. So let's combine some like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x. 90 plus 25 is 115. Divide both sides by 5. So 115 divided by 5 gives us 23. Now we're not done yet because it's asking us to find two different angles. So angle AOB is the first angle. So AOB is labeled as 2x. We know x is 23, so substitute in 23. And when you multiply, you get 46 degrees. It's also asking for BOC. So BOC is 3x. So 3 times 23 is 69. And now I believe we've answered all the questions. All right, last one. I believe you could do this one on your own as well. If you want to pause that video, try it, and then make sure your answer is correct. All right, first we notice that we have a right angle here. So we know that these two smaller angles are going to add up to be a right angle. So 5x and 2x plus 20 form a right angle. Which means they add up to 90. So let's set up our equation. We have 5x plus 2x plus 20, which is 90. Combine your like terms. 5x plus 2x is 7x. Subtract 20 from both sides. So 7x is equal to 70. Divide both sides by 7, and x is equal to 10. Now this question is asking for AOB. AOB was 5x, but now we know x is 10, so 5 times 10 is 50. We also want to know BOC, which was 2x plus 20. So 2 times 10 plus 20 is, 2 times 10 is 20, plus 20, which is 40 degrees. All right, I'd like you to attempt the problem set, and we will go over that in class tomorrow. Good luck.